What's guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to be talking about LiTime or LiTime. We haven't had one of their batteries on the channel, so we thought it's probably a good time to check it out, especially because they seem to be all over the place. They're marketing everywhere, and from what I can tell from their lineup on their website and all the things that they have available, they have pretty much a battery for almost every specific use case. Even if the battery is mostly the same, they have it like changed just a little bit, marketed towards specific use cases. So they're doing a really, I would say, strong job or very good job trying to market everywhere and try to get, market share. So, it's probably a good time to take a look at them, right? So first of all, I will say LiTime or LiTime is not a brand new company. They've been around for a long time. And they used to be called, I believe it was Ampere Time. And then some time ago, they rebranded or reorganized or whatever, and now it's LiTime. But on this episode, we're gonna be talking about LiTime's Mini X Smart Battery. So LiTime does have a mini battery, but this one is the Smart X Mini, right? So there is a difference, very small, but we will go over this battery from top to bottom and put it to the test. This battery is a 12.8 volt, 100 amp hour battery, and they have all different kinds of configurations of this battery, as I talked about earlier. So if you're interested in knowing more about this battery, stick with us. So this is the LiTime LifePO4 12.8 volt 100 amp hour Smart X Mini battery. Obviously, it's a lithium iron phosphate battery, has a warranty for 5 years, has a cycle life of over 4,000 plus, and obviously the nominal voltage of this is 12.8 volts, right? The energy capacity that's in here, if you take 12.8 times 100, that's 1280 watt hours, and this battery is able to be configured in 4S4P max. What that means is you can expand up to 4 of them in parallel, or you can expand up to 4 of them in series, or you can just do a combination of series and parallel and just get a really big battery bank. The internal resistance of this battery is guaranteed to be less than 40 milliohms. It's got all types of certification, and this battery, being the smart battery, has Bluetooth integrated into the battery. Most of these batteries of this type, including this one, has BMS built in, and the BMS on this battery is capable of 100 amps or 100 amps, and the continuous output power at 100 amps is obviously 1,280 watts, right? So the continuous charge current max is 100 amps, and the continuous discharge current is also 100 amps, but the recommended charge current is 20 amps, so make sure you keep that in mind. If you're talking about surge capabilities or whatnot, this battery is capable to discharge a max of 500 amps for up to 1 second. Obviously, the charging voltage of this type of battery is around 14.4 volts plus or minus 0.2 volts depending on the type of charger you get. Most of the chargers designed for 12 volt LifePO4 batteries will charge this battery properly. This battery has up to 20 types of protection. They're advertising on what you can do, like the type of protection that it has. For whatever reason, all the types of protection that I was counting on or counted that they've marketed did not count up to 20. So I'm not exactly sure how they got that, but they have like low temperature charging protection and all the important charging or discharging protections that you would want in a battery of this class, right? So let's talk about that real quick. This does have low temperature charging protection, which is the little icon that's on the bottom right of the battery that says LTCP, and the battery will stop charging when it gets to a certain temperature, and then it will start charging again when it comes above a certain temperature. So I did notice that, especially with the huge winter storm that has been going on here, and this battery being outside and or in the garage, or with the garage being open, we did experience that. Unfortunately, didn't get it on video, but we did see that. The terminals on this battery is M8 volts, and this battery weighs almost exactly the amount as the LiTime mini battery, which is 19.13 pounds. If you get the regular one that's not smart, it will weigh just a hair less. This battery is IP65 rated, and the housing material is ABS. In case you're wondering about the size of this battery, it's roughly about 10 1/4 by 5 1/4 by almost 9 inches high. So obviously this is the battery. There's not too much to go over on this battery, especially because it's literally what you see is what you get, right? So on the front of this battery, you know, obviously it has this sticker on here. It seems like a pretty good quality sticker. Obviously, if you're gonna put it in like a wet or marine type environment, it'll probably fall off. On the bottom corner right here, what I talked about earlier is the low temperature charging protection. That's what this stands for. This one is the Mini, which LiTime has a Mini, but this one is the Smart X Mini. And what makes it the Smart X Mini is that this has Bluetooth 5.0 built into the battery, which allows you to use an app to communicate with the BMS or the BMS inside of the battery, and also see additional features like, you know, turn it off type of thing from inside the app. So that's obviously a nice thing to have. You know, other than that, this battery is a little bit plastic. Feels like it's got that space on the inside to kind of get that hollow expansion or, you know, space to built in there. This battery does have a handle that can be removed by taking this, what do you call this, material handle just out of here. But you know, I think for if you're moving this around a lot, or even if you're not, you can just keep this in here and it serves as a nice handle to use, right? But it is easily removable. This is obviously that material that will probably degrade if I had to guess pretty fast if you leave it in the sun, because you know, you see these things break down pretty quick. But if you're using it inside or not exposed to the sun, you're going to be fine, right? Obviously these are the terminals that you have to put on. I've already put it on there and ran with it a little bit. The back side has a bunch of warnings, caution, do not do this, do not do that, all kinds of fun stuff. It even got a QR code you can scan to, you know, learn more about this battery and all the manuals and stuff like that. But other than that, you know, there's really nothing too special that you see from just looking at the battery. So let's get it connected to some loads and see how it works. So let me flip the switch that connects this battery to a 2000 watt inverter using this 4-gauge cable. I will go ahead and get the app started so you can see what's going on with that. And what I will tell you immediately is that one thing I do not like about this app is that you do have to register an account or create an account in order to use the app, right? So on the top of the battery, there is a spot that tells you to scan this code to download the app, and also all the other specs on the battery, just in case for whatever reason you forgot. It's there, but you do have to create an account, and that's one thing I don't like about, you know, some of these apps, because sometimes I just want to get it going. Sometimes people like creating accounts because all their stuff is saved, but you know, sometimes people don't. And if you're really just trying to get it going, you don't want to do that. So I'll stop rambling. Anyways, so once you get the app loaded, you can add your battery by hitting this plus icon right here. And obviously in this case, I've already loaded the battery in here. So if you go ahead and look at what's inside the app, it's got all the information that you would want to know. Obviously what mode that it's in, the state of charge that it's in, how many watts and amps is currently being drawn out of the battery, the voltage of the battery, and the remaining capacity of the battery. This app does have a few interesting features, mainly around the, what I would call it, the advanced features, which have been, you know, made for dummies, I would say, because it's got this thing here called balance. And once you hit the balance, all it really tells you is that your cells are, you know, well balanced. It doesn't go into each cell and then tell you, you know, what the voltage of each cell is, which is exactly what you would want for more of an advanced user. But they've really made it, you know, as error proof or dummy proof, right? So balance really tells you just only that it's balanced. If you go to the cells, it just tells you the cells are functioning optimally or normally, right? Instead of the temperature of each cell, the voltage of each cell, all that kind of stuff. And it's also got the BMS here that really tells you the BMS is running smoothly, right? So for whatever reason, if you wanted to have the advanced features of everything in there and view the exact balance of those or the details of those exact parameters, it's gonna be a little bit difficult to do that, all right? Mainly because all it tells you is the result, not necessarily every detail. And I will say, I think some people will really like that, mainly because they don't want to know all of that stuff. They don't want any of that complication. They just want to know, is it good or not? So there's a market for that. And I think the market that the company is going for is probably more mass market, which is going to be, I would say, for the masses. They probably don't care about all those details, right? So obviously other things in here is going to be called the temperature, cycle time, or how many times you've cycled this battery, firmware version, serial numbers, and all that kind of fun stuff. So that's here. So let's go ahead and get some load connected, right? Let's go ahead and get the load going here. What we're going to use right now is the heat gun, mainly because the other heater is actually in use. We got this heat gun going here. You can tell. Here, let me bring this here. On this inverter, you can see the right now it's drawing roughly 541 watts, or 550 something watts, and from this battery it is currently drawing roughly close to 400, 500. It's just fluctuating a little bit there, but the current that's being drawn from the battery is fluctuating wildly around like 46, 47, 58. So, you know, that is what's live there. And if you want to know how much it can go, let's see if this heat gun can even max it out, right? So let's turn up the heat. So right now it's drawing little over 1,000 watts, but it's not crossing the 100. It has crossed it for just a little bit. If you watch it, it'll cross for a few seconds or maybe even a second the 100 amp mark, and it will come back down. So as long as it doesn't stay high above that, what I noticed when using this heat gun is that it will still work fine, right? The problem is when I was using that electric heater to heat the garage, it wouldn't actually stay on, mainly because it was staying above 100, right? So that surge capacity and being able to handle small bursts of that power does seem to really help. Let's see if we can get the fan going on here at a higher speed and stay at the 132, 38, 139, 140, 142, 144. There it goes, and it cuts off. And this battery does have the auto recovery, so once it cuts off, after a few seconds, it will turn itself back on. As you can see there, the battery, or the inverter screen here shows you the battery did kick back on after about a second or two, just to show you to get it going again. Let's hit the heat gun again, and it is back in working motion. So I did notice that that part actually works really well. And as I mentioned earlier, I didn't get it on video, but this battery was left outside during the winter storm, or open garage inside a winter storm, or during the winter storm that's currently going on. And with the low temperature charging protection, it was not actually able to charge. So I do know that does work, even if I didn't take it apart and, you know, dunk it in cold water or get it on video. I can tell you that definitely does work. So other than that, right, everything works exactly as intended. If you want to see the auto recovery time again, let's see if we can get that going. $147. There it goes. So look at that. It does cut off exactly as you would want. And if you go there to BMS, it says under protection, discharging over current protection. Your battery has pulled up to a shield and is in protect mode, or pulled up the shield and it's protect mode. So when an event like that happens, the what do you call it, the metrics or the telemetry or the monitoring actually does stay updated in here. So interestingly enough, even though the battery kicked out, the BMS or the things connected to the battery was actually, you know, updating and let you know exactly what's happening. And that's exactly what you would want in a battery like this. So that's what's really going on with this battery. And like I mentioned earlier, it has also the same battery without the smart, which actually costs, I want to say, roughly around 40 bucks less, right? So if you're in a situation where you want to be able to monitor each battery, paying 40 bucks for the Bluetooth capability is obviously going to be nice. But if you're in that situation where you want to just be able to throw a bunch of these batteries together and not ever check on them, then, you know, saving 40 bucks maybe per battery may be a thing for you, right? But when you get to troubleshooting them, then you will probably really want that. So I think having the $40 to use the app, the connectivity and all that kind of fun stuff, it may be worth it, right? But that's going to be up to you. So with that being said, I will say this battery at a normal pricing is going to be around $260, I believe. The LiTime Mini, not smart, will be around $220-ish, $230-ish, right? So give or take, you know, 10 bucks depending on what kind of sales you find them. So maybe even 30 bucks more versus the 40 bucks to get the smart Bluetooth capability. So in my opinion, if you're going to use this for like 1 or 2 inverters, it's going to be worth it. I would not buy 4 of these and put them in series to a 48 volt inverter, because that just doesn't seem like the smart thing to do. You should just buy their 48 volt battery, because they do offer a 48 volt battery. And if you do buy 4 of these and put them in series, eventually it may work fine for the short term, but eventually they're going to get out of balance. You're going to have all types of issues. So if you're going to do something like that, just buy the bigger battery. All right. So they do offer, like I mentioned earlier, all types of batteries for almost every situation. This battery should not be used for a starting battery. Like, don't use this to replace your car starting battery, because that's not designed for that. They do have other batteries that are better suited, but I will say not designed for that, mainly because car engine bays get really hot, and you don't want to put these in really hot engine bays and stuff like that. So they do make golf cart batteries. They do make standalone, off-grid batteries and stuff like that. But this mini battery is really, really nice. I can't emphasize that enough, mainly because it's really lightweight, easy to carry, has a Bluetooth connectivity. And if you've watched some of the other videos we've had so far, we have those 48 volt EG4 waterproof batteries, and the battery monitor thing on that thing is really nice, because you can see every cell voltage and stuff like that. But that's a 48 volt battery, and that's a big battery. That's a heavy battery. That's a 5 kilowatt hour battery. This is really a 1 kilowatt hour battery, and sometimes you just need something small to just put something together, or you just need the 12 volts, right? So hopefully this video helped you guys out. If you have any questions, let us know. I think a lot of times they run a ton of sales, like either on their website or on Black Friday. I know they ran a ton on Black Friday. If you're going to buy something, I would say make sure you get it on sale. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.